So how good is this new Kelela project, Raven? Well, keep watching to find out. Coffee and Beats Season 5 is back. Let's go! What's up? It's your boy, Rod the Magnificent, back in the cafe. Ladies and gentlemen.
We're back open.
After almost 2 months of not posting any episodes, we're here for Season 5 of Coffee and Beats. I'm your musical barista, Rod the Magnificent. And before I get into anything, make sure you hit the like. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, the YouTube channel, the Instagram, the Twitch account where I do all my DJing stuff. All the links are provided in the description box below so you can access all of that. You know why I'm here. I'm here to give you some coffee recommendations and also give you some music recommendations. So let's just stop wasting time. Let's get right into it. First of all, I got something nice and poked up for you. And the green screen doesn't want me to be great, but I will describe it. It's mint chocolate chip cookies from the people up there at Cookie Jar Coffee. This is not a sponsor, but I love their K-Cups. They have different flavors like oatmeal cookie. They have peanut butter cookie. If you're a fan of cookies,
like myself.
If you're a fan of coffee,
like myself,
give it a try. You can get it in Amazon. But with all that being said, let's get right into it. You're here for some music reviews. What have I been listening to lately? Well,
here it is.
Kelela. Not Kelela. Hopefully. If she's watching this, hopefully I'm saying your name right. I've been listening to your music for quite a long time. But she's back with her second studio album, Raven. And this is an American singer and songwriter. And definitely, I'm a huge fan of her music. I've really enjoyed her 2017 release, Take Me Apart. Kelela said that Raven began as a reaction to feeling alone as a black artist working within the dance music industry, and she describes this album as an affirmation of that perspective. And so this album features 15 tracks, clocking in at a little over an hour. Now you might say an hour, man, Rodney, that's a lot of time to be listening to one particular artist for a whole hour, but I'm gonna tell you, it's worth every moment. Now, I must say, Raven gets off to such a beautiful start, giving off those Blue Six vibes with the drifty Washed Away. Kind of reminds me of one of my favorite Blue Six tracks, All I Want. Beautiful vocals from Kelela that are presented here in a more freestylish pace, no bars, no verses, just Kelela singing us into heavenly bliss. Other highlights include the very sensual and seductive track Enough for Love with deep bass and nice deep keys clicking throughout the track. Feels like I'm just floating in midair. More highlights includes the upbeat Happy Ending, the groovy and frantic vibes of On the Run. Gojira presents these dope echoing snaps over a very hollow beat. One of the biggest highlights for me is Contact, which features a very mesmerizing groove and has a very nostalgic 90s electronic dance feel to it. My only gripe with this album is that it can get a little one note for more casual fans that will give this album a listen, but I love the deep house tracks throughout here. I love the track Bruises and the track Raven, which presents us at first with Kelela showing her vocal range over a subtle fire alarm-like beat, and then it transitioned into this nice, beautiful house track. I love this album. It's an excellent sophomore effort from Kelela. I just really love the crispiness of the production on here, the smooth and moody melodious vocals from her. This was definitely a nice way to start off 2023 in the alternative R&B category. I give this album an 8.25 out of 10. Really enjoyed this effort from Kelela. My only request would be, do not make us wait so long for the next project, because I really enjoyed this one. This one is still in the rotation. Up next, we got Caroline Polachek with her 4th studio album, Desire, I Want to Turn Into You. Now, this is the 4th studio album by American singer and songwriter and producer Caroline Polachek, and this is her 2nd album as she has broken away from her previous group Chairlift. And so this album features 12 songs, clocking in at around 45 minutes. Now, if you're into such artists as Grimes, Charlie XCX, or Purity Ring, you'll definitely dig the latest effort from Caroline, known to wear her influences like Kate Bush and Fiona Apple and even Busta Rhymes. Yes, I said it.
Busta Rhymes.
On her sleeves. She brings that energy to her latest efforts with a dynamic opener, which is the track Welcome to My Island. And then you got Pretty Impossible, which presents us with a nostalgic early 90s like Ace of Base type of feel to it. Kind of gives us those All That She Want vibes. And then you got Bunny Is a Writer, which goes with a more modern flavor with nice bouncy production that will please the more casual fans. My personal favorites are tracks like Sunset, the beautiful collaboration with Dido and Grimes on Fly to You, which hits us with very elegant vibes and feels like I'm surfing in midair. And Dido literally steals the show on this track. I miss her vocals. If you guys wasn't up on Dido like in the early 2000s, I know Eminem came out with Stan and everybody was like drawn to her voice in that chorus. But I think Dido had one of the greatest albums of the 2000 decade, and it was just a breath of fresh air to finally see her feature on a project and then steal the show like she never missed a beat. So I really enjoyed that. Amazing track, one of my favorite tracks of the year so far. Although there are just a couple of speed bumps in the mix, like I Believe and Hope Drunk Ever Asking, this album throughout is still a very consistent listen, every shape and form. The closing track, Billions, puts the icing on the cake, so to speak. But if you want to scratch that synth pop itch that you've been feeling like myself, well, this album is definitely for you. I give this one a solid 8 out of 10. I really appreciate this track. And by the way, all of my favorite tracks from each album that I'm doing on this episode will be featured in the description below. Up next, we got Oddisee with his first full-length project since 2017's The Iceberg, and he hits us with this one called To What End. It was said that it took the rapper a year to make this project due to a lot of schedule conflicts with features, and also Oddisee's attention to detail when it comes to crafting his albums. He's in charge of the mixing, he's in charge of the producing, and he's in charge of basically just getting features and collabs on his projects. And that's why I really admire Oddisee as a hip-hop artist. He's one of the most underrated hip-hop artists of our time. This album features 16 tracks that clocks in around 51 minutes. Now, just a brief summary on this. I'm not going to go and break down song for song some of the songs I like, just the overall synopsis. Although I think this is a decent effort from Oddisee, I think this project falls victim of its production. Some of the beats on here are not very impressive, and although Oddisee gives us what we want lyrically, I felt that this project could have been shorter. Some of the features on the album, they were okay, but the biggest feature to me was Fonte's appearance. I thought he gave us a nice treat with his verse. Overall, I give this one a 6.25 out of 10. I recommend this project for a few tracks that you can add to your playlist, but overall, this project left me wanting a little bit more from Oddisee production-wise. I enjoyed some pockets of this record, and I think you will too. You might like it more than me. So, hey, if you do, well, you're welcome. Now that I've gotten the main projects that I wanted to review out of the way, just want to put you guys on notice to a few albums. This is just going to be a quick rundown of a few albums that I think some of you will like, depending on the genre. I'm going to start off with the Go Team. The Go Team just came out with their second part 2 of the Get Up sequence, and if you haven't heard part 1, I think you'll enjoy it. I've been a huge fan of the Go Team since the early 2010s when I was introduced to them. It's something about their double Dutch like style of singing throughout. They combine a lot of indie rock, garage rock, along with a little bit of hip hop sprinkled in. It feels like I'm watching a hip hop version of Channel 11. It's a really fun time, and even though I didn't care for Get Up Sequences Part 1, I do like this one. I do like Get Up Sequences Part 2. This band is going through a lot of changes over the years. They don't have that signature sound that they used to have back in the day. It has definitely been a solid effort from the group. I think Parton, who is still part of the group, still the lead band member, and also you got Ninja still providing you with the lyrics on this project. I think you'll find some gems on this one, and I think you'll like it. I give this one a decent out of 10 if I had to rate it, but I think you'll enjoy it. Another artist that just came out with a project recently is Flume. This one is called Things Don't Always Go the Way You Plan, and things didn't go the way he planned on this one. I just was not a big fan of this project. Now there are a few highlights, such as the track Y. Basically, I think it's just some cutting room floor material from his previous project, which also a project that I wasn't too crazy about. And Flume over the years has kind of lost me over the years. But hey, if you're still a Flume fan, if you're still Team Flume, give this one a shot. I think you'll find some gems out of this one. It just wasn't for me. Up next, we got DJ Mitsu, The Beat, one of my favorite producers. He just came out with Celebration of J Part 3. Now, he's been coming out with a series of these every February of the year. People who are familiar with J Dilla, the great hip-hop producer who died back in February of 2006. He has been heavily celebrated by many producers, many people in hip-hop, and this is one of those celebrations in this particular album. I think you'll like this one. Again, don't look for that signature Dilla sound. It's just him paying homage to J Dilla, so don't go looking for him to match the boom bap drums that J Dilla was so famous for. This is a nice mellow instrumental album that I think you'll enjoy. Good album to listen to in the background. I give this one a very good out of 10. For all my instrumental heads out there, I think you will really enjoy this one. And last but not least, I'm going to be challenging myself here in season 5. Please keep watching the show to get my future review of this particular album. It's by Laraaji. He is a multi-instrumentalist. He plays all types of instruments. The name of this album is called Segue To Infinity. Now, he's been around for quite some time, and a lot of his projects are pretty long-winded, but this one in particular is 3 hours long. 8 tracks, 3 hours long. So I'm definitely going to be doing a review on this album in a future episode, and I'm also going to be taking you guys with me on this journey as I try to go through this album and challenge myself to listen to it, and then I will give you my honest review of it probably later on in the season. But just want to put you guys on notice. Laraaji, give it a shot. If you want to go down this journey with me, feel free to do so. Look it up on your own time and try to listen to it. But it is a 3-hour long project, so I've been taking this project at least, a day at a time.
One track is like 24 minutes.
So yeah, please do yourself a favor. Keep watching the show. Keep coming down this musical journey with me, and I'll definitely reward you at the end with a nice review. And that will do it for this episode of Coffee and Beats. I'm your musical barista, Rod the Magnificent. Just want to put this out there. Cafe Psychedelic Volume 1. My first mixtape of the year is now available on all streaming platforms, all podcasting platforms. It was one of my DJ sets I did on Twitch that I'm really, really proud of. I think you guys will enjoy it. It's got some funk in it. It's got a lot of good artists that I was able to feature and mix together. So I hope you enjoy that one. Links are all down below, so you will really enjoy that project as well. Thank you for being patient and waiting for the first episode of season 5 of Coffee and Beats. And again, I'm your musical barista, Rocco Magnificent. And when it comes to coffee, when it comes to music, stay grounded for life. I will see you on the next one. Peace.
Watch your parade, just leap back and redeem it, yeah. See?